You feel it, right? This massive pressure in the business world to adopt AI. I mean, it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. But are they asking the right questions? In this explainer, we're going to unpack how to escape that hype trap and find the real, actual value of AI for your business. And this quote, it absolutely nails the problem. Leaders feel that pressure, so they just start sprinting towards anything that says AI on it. But the problem is, the why and the how get totally lost in the shuffle because they're so focused on the shiny new tool, not the problem they're actually trying to solve. So, what happens when you invest in a solution before you've even defined the problem? Well, the result is, pretty predictable. And unfortunately, it's super common. You end up with a shiny new tool and absolutely zero return on your investment. You're just left with this expensive piece of tech that doesn't actually move the needle on anything important. It's that classic hammer looking for a nail situation, and all it leads to is wasted money, wasted time, and that frustrating feeling that AI is just a bunch of hype. So, how do we get out of this trap? It all starts by changing the question. We have to move on from asking if we need AI and start asking something a whole lot smarter. Just look at the difference here. This is a fundamental shift in your thinking. The question on the left, do we need AI? That's driven by anxiety, right? It's FOMO, the fear of missing out. But the question on the right, that's driven by strategy. It forces you, right from the start, to think about real results and measurable business impact. And that right there, that is the core difference between a huge AI win and a total AI flop. It's not about having better tech or hiring more data scientists. Nope. It all boils down to a really simple but powerful three-part strategy. And this is a super important point. The tools are ready to go, they're powerful, and they're more accessible than they've ever been. The bottleneck isn't the technology, it's the strategy. Without a clear plan, even the most amazing AI is just another shiny object collecting dust. So here's the playbook. First, you start with a real, painful business problem, not some vague idea to use AI. Then you have to define what success actually looks like, with clear, numbers-based goals. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And finally, you have to focus like a laser on the outcome, what it does for your business or your customers, not all the cool, shiny features of the technology. Okay, so that all sounds good in theory, right? But what does this strategy actually look like out in the real world? Let's make this concrete. Let's just take a simple, relatable business, a daycare center. The owner, they're not a tech genius, they're a child care expert, but they've got real-world business challenges that are driving them crazy. And here's that problem-first approach in action. The owner isn't asking, how can my daycare use AI? No way. They're asking, what are my biggest headaches? Things like chasing down late payments, drowning in paperwork, or just trying to keep all the parents in the loop. These are tangible, costly business problems. Now it makes sense to ask if AI might be the right tool for the job. This is it. This is where the magic happens. See, success isn't about just plugging in some AI. It's about that perfect alignment of the tool with a meaningful business goal. When your strategy and your execution are in sync like that, you get a real, measurable return on your investment. Okay, so let's bring this all back to you. The principles we've just talked about, they apply to any business, whether you're running a daycare, a software company, or a factory. It's time to apply this simple test to your own work. I want you to really think about this for your own job. Forget the hype for a second. What is the single biggest bottleneck you have? The recurring headache that just drains time and money from your business? Start there. That, right there, is your winning use case for AI. So this is the ultimate litmus test. Look at your own AI initiatives, or the ones you're thinking about, and ask yourself honestly, are you building a strategic asset that delivers real value, or are you just funding an expensive experiment? The answer to that question is going to determine your success. Thanks for digging into this with us.